I'm Shailene Woodley, and we are in the middle of Patagonia in an area called Puelo.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Shai? How are you, Thomas?
Good, Maria Jose. Good to see you.
First, did you like Puelo?
I loved it so much that I told my fiance, I was like, we need to come live here for a few months because it's so beautiful.
It was your first time in Chile.
It was my first time to Chile, to South America, actually.
So when the invitation came to you, what did you thought?
The moment that Thomas and I spoke for the first time over Zoom, I just felt so in awe and amazed that there was someone else out there who had ideas and the desire to change the way business is conducted, which then ultimately changes the way we view consumerism and the way that we view the entire cycle of giving and taking. And from there on out, it was just an instant excitement and an instant desire to want to do everything I possibly could to get the word out about Karün and also about Thomas and his team. To me, what's even bigger and better in a way than that is the fabric that makes up Karün and the ethos behind Karün. And that was really what completely, I don't even want to say sold me, because there was no selling to do. It was just a matter of like, how do we put our forces together and, bring this to the world in the best way possible.
How many days did you last to convince yourself, well, I want to do this?
It was seconds. It was like literally we got on a Zoom and I was like, oh, done. Like,
Really?
Obviously. Yeah.
Your first time that you participate in a company like this, or you have done this before?
No, it's the first time I've ever worked with a company like this, and I'm a very picky person and I have like a lot of high standards for myself in my own life. And
I want to know about your environmentalist story.
I came out of the room really obsessed with trees because growing up, we didn't necessarily always have enough money to go on vacations or travel. My parents would take us camping because it was a way to get us out of the house and give us a new experience, but it was relatively affordable for them. And so I think I was always told that nature was a safe place to be in. And I would say when I was in high school, I was walking across a quad, and we have these things in LA called the Santa Ana winds, which are huge forces and gusts of air that come around every single season. And I just saw all of this trash swirling around in this wind. And then I saw pine needles from all the pine trees swirling around in the wind. And I thought, there's something so wrong about this, because the pine needles look so beautiful up there and the trash looks so awful. And that was kind of the moment that I started becoming really active with what I wanted to do. I believe that kind of our souls come here, and sometimes we just have a feeling or a prompt to do something, and maybe we don't understand why, but it feels right. In the same way that some people are just naturally able to sketch a beautiful piece of artwork, I just naturally had an affinity towards nature.
What are the next steps that come about Karün and you together? You designed the sunglasses?
So this last collection was very quick turnaround. By the time we met and decided to work together and collaborate, it was like a month maybe turnaround until they had to go into production.
Just to add there, Maria Jose, what was really good was that the team in Karün created a whole range of possibilities, but we did receive Shay's feedback, and actually one of the most, I would say, iconic optical frames that we're going to have now was not part of the process, and Shay incorporated. So we did have a lot of feedback, and it was a very collaborative process, even though
super collaborative.
I read an interview of you, and it caused me very impression that you said that you weren't a feminist.
For me, it was more not that I'm not consider myself a feminist, but it's hard for me to say I'm an environmentalist, because I think anytime you, for myself, use a label to identify yourself with a movement or a type of inertia, you're automatically discounting the other side. And even if we don't understand one another's opinions, we should be able to hear one another and make the other person feel important. So my interest in saying that as a young person in my 20s was, I don't want to call myself a feminist because I don't want someone out there who doesn't necessarily understand what feminism is to feel like I'm against them.
Are you new to Monterey?
Yeah, we just moved here. You're gonna love it.
We are going to have a next season of Big Little Lies.
Oh, I mean, it would be great if we could, but I don't know. I'm just as much in the dark as you are.
You're really close to each other with Nicole, with Reese.
We did. We're very lucky that everybody not only got along, but genuinely developed a real deep love and affinity for one another.
And have you seen Chilean movies? Do you know something about Chilean? No? Paulo Larraín,
I know a little
Pedro
bit of
Pascal.
Argentinian movies, but
I think we should suggest some too, Shay. I
Yeah.
think we're like a couple.
perfect.
So it's true that maybe we will have you again in Chile. Maybe.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
We
When?
will.
Are you kidding?
When? This
I
year,
don't
do you
know.
think? Ah.
Let's ask the governments and the borders when we don't have to wear masks anymore. It was a
We
pleasure
will
to
make
talk
sure
to you.
to have her back.